YouTube viewers, Rectangular back, this time with another haul video. Here we have some loose figures that I picked up on Facebook and eBay. The gentleman on the far left is a Guavian Enforcer. I got him off of Facebook from a gentleman who I think sold it to me for 13 shipped, so pretty damn good deal. I'd only seen him at Kmart for like 22 or 23 bucks, so I was not going to pay that for a figure that I just wanted to kit bash. This guy is in good condition. I think one of his ankles, if not both of his ankles, are a little loose, but other than that he's going to work great for what I want to do with him. So yeah, these guys are getting, just the Star Wars Black Series in general are becoming more and more difficult to find. Besides the peg warmers, I really just see Finn nowadays. Haven't really seen, or have hardly seen any of the new waves. And speaking of which, we have Asti there on the far right, and I had my friend Michael Wisman hunt him down for me at Target, I believe. And yeah, very happy to finally get him. Very cool figure. I like him much better than the Poe figure that came in the spacesuit. The only advantage with Poe is he's got those interchangeable hands. So you know, kind of wish they had done something similar with Asti here. But you know, he comes with a pretty cool pistol and a nice removable helmet. So very nice touch. And the helmet on this one is shaped well. I've seen a lot of them where the mouthpiece is warped, but that one turned out really well. And yeah, cool alien looking character. I'll probably end up doing some sort of kit bash with that head, but in the meantime, we have in the middle the Guardian from the DC Green Lantern series of characters. Not really familiar. I did see the Green Lantern movie, and it was funny to see Ryan Reynolds make fun of himself in Deadpool in regards to that. So if you haven't checked out the Deadpool movie, definitely go see it. It's great. I was talking about this character on the Triple C podcast, which we put out twice a month. So stay tuned for those episodes and let us know what you guys think of the show. I was talking about how the auction ended before I could try to bid on this guy, and I contacted the seller asking him if he could just send me an invoice for the figure, and I think I paid like 50 cents over what he was asking for it, and he agreed. And yeah, I'm very happy to get this figure for a cheap price, because in good condition he goes for pretty good. I think around 20 bucks shipped, so I think I paid like $7.50 for him, so I'm very happy about that. You can see he's pretty dirty. I tried washing him in some soap and water, but he just is not going to get any cleaner. So not a big deal. I'm going to repaint him anyway and do a head swap with him. So yeah, very cool. And with that, let's move on to the next set of items. Next up from Mezco, we have the Mortal Kombat X Kitana. Or maybe that's Mortal Kombat 10. I don't know. I'm not a huge video game person. But I wanted to get this Kitana for basically for kit bashing, to have her in some different Asian scenes, and I was able to track her down, I think on, I think it was Amazon, for I think of like 22 shipped, so a little bit more than I wanted to pay. I kept trying to find one with a damaged package for less, but just was not that lucky, or just gave up trying. So from what I have gathered, it looks like a pretty decent figure. Been pretty happy with the other two figures that I have from this line, and from what I understand, there are still not any plans for Mezco to make any more Mortal Kombat figures in 6-inch scale, which is pretty sad. Hopefully that will change, but from everything we know, that's not going to happen. And then we have the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Daredevil. Took me forever to find this in stores. I ended up finding him in Sacramento. Spent like a whole day just hunting for toys. I think I was looking for the Absorbing Man wave, which I never found. So yeah, I primarily just wanted him for his weapons, making a Shadowlands Daredevil, which he has red batons or clubs. So yeah, that was the primary reason I got him. It's a pretty decent figure. I actually got a loose one from a gentleman on Facebook as well, just because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to find him at retail, and held on to my receipt from Walgreens, but it expired. I forgot that Walgreens only has a 30-day return policy, so now I'm stuck with two of them. So I don't know if I'm just going to end up selling one or trying to use it for a kit bash or what, but yeah, at least the weapons on this one appear to be straighter than the ones I got from the loose figure. So anyway, with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next set of items. Finally this week we have two Bruce Lee figures. On the left we have the Figma, which is actually not true. That's a knockoff of the Figma Bruce Lee. And then on the right we have the official SH Figure Arts from Bandai, Tamashii Nations Bruce Lee. So I initially was going to pass on the Figure Arts version, but after talking to my friend Slings a Web when I was down in Florida, he kind of nudged me in that direction of, you really shouldn't pass on this figure. So I'm really glad that I didn't pass on him. Everything I have seen already, a lot of reviews been done, and looks like a fantastic figure. The only thing, well, there's a couple of things that I wish they could have done a little bit better, and I'm gonna get these guys out of the package and do a quick little comparison of what I think is the pros and cons. But yeah, I'm still very happy. I was able to get the Figma knockoff version from China for, I think it was like 19 shipped, something like that. So yeah, I would definitely not pay, even for an original version, I would not be paying what they're asking for it. It's just, it's a decent figure, especially if you collect more imports on the 5-inch scale. But for me, it's just not worth it. The Figure Arts Bruce Lee is way better in my opinion, and let's get him out of the package and I'll tell you why. Here we have both figures out of the packaging, and they're both pretty solid figures, but I still think the SH Figure Arts version is better. Overall, I think the paint scheme or the paint applications are much better on the Figure Arts. I think the head sculpt is a lot more accurate. It actually looks like Bruce Lee, where the Figma on the left just kind of barely resembles Bruce Lee. I do like that one has blue pants and one has black, so it gives me different options. I'm just going to be doing kit bashes with my Figma one on the left, so that works for me. I'm still kind of on the fence as far as the proportions go. I think I still prefer the Figure Arts. although his chest looks a little bit too beefy, his pecs are quite large and round and kind of hang down, I think, lower than they should. So, and I think his abdominal area could be a little bit more defined. But, you know, that's just kind of nitpicking. I do prefer the way that they did the hand articulation on the figure arts, so that there is a peg inside the arm and you're not seeing this exposed peg like you are on the Figma. Not only do you see the peg, but you see the pins in the side of the hand. So this looks much better. You know, it's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. Also, I really like the butterfly joints that the figure arts has in the shoulders, and the head articulation is far superior on the figure arts as well. And since I have a knockoff Figma, the joints are extremely stiff. That's one thing before I bought mine, saw reviews talking about that's one part that broke on the other person's knockoff was the joints. So if you are going to get a knockoff Figma Bruce Lee, just be very careful with the joints. The head is very hard to pose. In fact, the neck, you can probably see it, and there's a gap. It sits really high on his head, so that's another thing that kind of detracts from the figure as well. The color of the plastic is a more opaque or plastic looking. It doesn't look like it's actually has any paint, whereas the figure arts definitely looks like it's painted. It's a much more natural looking tan color. I think the chain on the figure arts is a little bit better quality. I don't have, you know, the original Figma, but on these knockoff ones, it just looks cheap. The rings are very large at the top, and you know, it's not, there's no paint or anything. It's just a bright silver chain there, and on the figure arts it's a lot more subdued, and the rings connecting it to the plastic are smaller, so it's not so obvious that it's a toy. Also, I really love all the extra weapons that you get with the figure arts version. So let's see, obviously no stand, but that's fine because this one has got a hole in his back for the stand, and the figure arts doesn't, so it's a lot more natural looking. The one area where the figure arts does not do as well is in the leg articulation. There is a very nice kind of like a triple ball peg there, and you can actually get the Figma one into full splits, where on the SH Figure Arts it doesn't have a standard SH Figure Arts joint. It's a lot more like a Figma joint, where on most figure arts you can pull down on the hip and get some better range of motion, and if you can on this one, I haven't been able to get it to do it. So he can't, he just cannot get into full splits. It's good, it's just not great, you know, and that's really what you want from a Bruce Lee figure, is to be able to do, you know, really high kick. And so that's the one thing that I'm really frustrated by. Also, I kind of wish that they had put the belt on a separate piece, because you know, when he flexes around, you get this weird gap there on the side. So I wish that this was a separate piece, and I'm probably going to try to make a belt to fit over that, but I'm not too confident on how well it's going to turn out. And I don't remember. Yeah, they did that on here. He's got a separate belt, so it doesn't stick up nearly as bad when he goes side to side. You know, they could have made it a little bit steeper, I think, and that would have helped out. But yeah, that's pretty minor. There's some weird, I do have a weird smudge on his chest on this knockoff version. But yeah, for under $20 shipped, the knockoff is a pretty solid figure. You know, you have to struggle with the tight joints, but other than that, it's not bad at all. And very happy to finally get this Figure Arts Bruce Lee. And with that, hopefully you guys liked the video. You share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I always love hearing back from you guys, so please leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.
That's crispy.